This evening on The Rock Newman Show, Christone Kingfish Ingram is a young man making a big name for himself by playing the blues. His powerhouse talent has taken him and his mother from homelessness to the White House. Find out about their incredible journey coming up right now on The Rock Newman Show. Welcome to The Rock Newman Show from the campus of historic Howard University, located in the nation's capital. I'm Rock Newman, and it is my desire to inspire you with personal stories of extraordinary achievement. My next guest is a musical phenom. Christone Kingfish Ingram started playing drums at the age of 4, and by the age of 14 was playing bass guitar, lead guitar, and singing. Check him out in action. He's a bad, bad man.
Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away from me. Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away from me. You know you done me wrong, but you'll be sorry someday. Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away for good. Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away for good. Someday I'll be over it all, baby. Just like I know a good man should. I'm free now. I'm free from your spell. I'm free now. I'm free from your spell. When it's all over, baby, all I can do is wish you well.
low down, gut bucket, outhouse, funky blues. Welcome to the Rock Newman Show.
Hi.
Miss Princess Bride, thank you so much for being here. Kingfish, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Christone KINGFIsh Ingram.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's me.
my introduction was correct. You're a bad, bad man.
I
know,
try.
for my viewing audience, I have to do something, and that is to say that I met you guys. I called you several months ago about doing the show. I saw some of your video on YouTube and called you guys and ultimately arranged that today would be the day that you'd come on the show. And in the time that we've talked, each of us have contemplated that maybe we would be doing some work together. So in the spirit of disclosure and candor and transparency for my viewing audience, I want to let them know that we've had those discussions. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I've been trying to figure out where to start with this incredible talent. This young man just turned 17 less than 5 weeks ago and has that kind of display of talent. So I was tempted to start with him, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start with you, Miss Bryant, because the blues speaks to the innermost of our feelings. And one, I think, in order to get a proper perspective of an artist, needs to understand from whence that artist comes, what has been their experience. And you, as the mother, we'd like to understand your journey so we can better understand Christone's journey. So if I could ask you, if we could start, tell us where you were born and tell us a little bit about your childhood, the good and the bad, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, my name is Princess Pride Ingram. I was born in Batesville, Mississippi, which is Panola County, which is 36 miles east of where we live now, Clarksdale, Mississippi. I was born to a business owner. My mother was a teacher for 16 years, and she was a beautician as well. My childhood, I was reared mostly by my grandparents. Mm-hmm. I spent most of my time around older people. Mm-hmm. So you can say I'm an old soul. Okay. You know, I had a childhood where I was isolated quite a bit because of some things that happened to me in my childhood. I was sexually molested at the age of 9 by a close family of the friend of the family, and I kept it hidden for quite some time. And I kind of became in my own space, in my own world, mm-hmm. so to speak. If you can understand what I'm saying.
I can. It makes me think about Maya Angelou, knowing why the caged bird sings.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. You know, I didn't become silent like she was, but in my own way, I ventured off to myself, never playing with a lot of other children. I was mostly it's like I talked to myself a lot, but at the present time, I didn't realize God was there listening to me. Yeah. So it still bothers me. I'm still healing from it, but every day it gets a little better.
You know, I find it, I didn't know, just exactly what you were going to say, but I find it very courageous that you would acknowledge that, because it is something that so many bury so often. Yes. And never speak to.
Right, right. Some people, they hide it and then they act another way. They become another person. They become silent. Everybody does not react to it, in the same way, but it's still bad. It doesn't make anything good about it, mm-hmm. anything. Mm-hmm. You kind of have an identity crisis for a while, mm-hmm. because you have a lot of unanswered questions, wondering why this happened, why it happened to me.
I've heard someone say that sexual abuse is like murder because it murders the part of a child.
Yes. Well, it murders the part of a child, and it's according to who does it. If it's a woman that does it, then you have a hard time trusting women.
Yeah.
If it's a man that does it, you have a hard time trusting a man.
Yeah.
So.
And so often it happens by those that you do love and trust and look up to. And when that violation happens, it just sends people haywire.
Yes, it does.
Oftentimes.
Yes, it does. It sends you into another place.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, so Christone, let me jump right to you and ask you, in terms of your playing your instrument and getting into your music, do you feel as if that's very much you as an individual, or do you feel as if part of what you express through your music might in some way be dealing with your mother's past pain?
Well, honestly, yeah, because some of the things we went through together and everything. I'm not gonna say it's more of me and my pain, but it's kind of a half and half situation. So basically, yeah.
Okay. Let's stay with that. You say kind of half and half, and you dealing with your pain. So, are there moments when you are into your music and you're doing your thing? I mean, I've watched you. I've watched multiple videos of you and seen different expressions. And frankly, there's no way for me to know. I think any particular viewer to know what you might be feeling at a moment. But are you there sometimes into your music, playing your guitar, and expressing outwardly some pain that you've experienced inwardly?
Oh, definitely. That's with everybody. So basically, yeah, with me, being I don't know how to put this, but I've been bullied before. Talked about, and with friends, being, as we young people like to put it, fake, whatever, and everything, and you not knowing who your real friends are. So yeah, I would say that that's pain, and everything. So.
And so the genre right now that you're most known for, and for those of you who have not seen Christone perform yet, whether it is YouTube or live or otherwise, he's a young man that aficionados in the industry are referring to as the future of the blues. One of the foremost blues authorities in the world. I had a rather extensive conversation with, and that gentleman said to me that Christone Kingfish Ingram had the talent and the ability, the work ethic, the intellect, and the drive to do for the blues what Tiger Woods did for golf. That was a high compliment, and one I think that is well deserved. Now, so can you recall playing at any particular time and hitting it, and you remember sort of what you were expressing or the pain that you were feeling that was manifesting in the blues you were playing?
Honestly, I want to say yes and no, but I'm starting with no first. No, because I'm in a different atmosphere when that happens, and I wouldn't say, well, y'all gonna say, it puts me on a high, and when I come down off that high, I don't know what happened. It's just like something takes control.
When you're playing your instrument?
Right. I'm gonna say yes because it's probably one of my most memorable performances.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much.
And can I, and if I pry too much, tell me.
Oh no, you're fine, man. You're fine. You cool.
Back
you
up,
cool.
Rock.
No, you cool.
But in terms of the moment you said that your most memorable performances, you were playing something and you remember what you felt at that time?
Right.
Do you mind sharing it, or?
Well, we played last year at a festival in Sisters, Oregon. It's called Sisters Folk Festival. We were we were probably the only like blues rock band there. And the second show went fine, but the first show was like awesome because the energy and the vibe off the room from the people was awesome. But I was upset before we did that show, and I'm not gonna get into why, but I was upset. And man, that whole set, that 45 minutes rolled quickly, and a lot of the anger that I felt like I put it into the notes that I was playing. And after we were done, I literally didn't know what happened. Like literally. So basically, yeah, it's all pain and all that type of stuff.
So, Mother, you're sitting there whenever he plays, you're there.
Yes.
Do you feel as if you can interpret some of what you're hearing? Are you able to identify as the mom what it is that he might be expressing at that time, or is that unknown to you?
I can. It has gotten better because I used to just stand by the stage and cry. I would be in tears because I knew exactly. I can tell. I can reassure you. I can tell when Christone is actually playing from his heart, and when he's really giving it all he's got. I said this earlier to one of your crew members that I don't know that person when he's on stage. He becomes a totally different person. I don't know him.
I'm telling you, I am so interested in dealing a little more with sort of with that realm, because that's what I'm hearing. Kind of you go outside of yourself. I want to deal with that
Yes.
when we come back
Okay.
to that. So let's come back to you. So you had this, difficult childhood. You at some point you started singing yourself. So all of his talent just doesn't come, just drop from somewhere. It's connected to Mama. Tell me about your experiences.
Well, when I was smaller, around the age of 5, I traveled a lot with our family choir. And then my family came up, they developed a quartet family group. And my mother was the booking person for that group. And wherever they were, I was there. Or she would take me along. And I started singing at weddings. She started putting me in front of crowds when I was like from 5 on up. And I started being lead vocals for a quartet group. I started doing talent shows, singing weddings, funerals, and just singing a lot in the church. I decided to use the gift that was given to me, because I'm always told if you don't use your gift, you'll lose it. So yes, that's where I started. I've been singing most of my life. That's all I know. I don't know anything but singing. And so Christone, the uncles, they all play. It's somebody in my family, they can either sing or play an instrument. They're very talented. So.
And is it correct or not that you're a relative, distant relative of Charlie Pride? Is that
Yes.
factual?
Yes, Charlie Pride is our cousin. Yes. He's actually my second cousin, but he's that's my grandfather's nephew.
Let me ask you if you can identify being on stage, performing. I'm sure you're performing before adoring eyes for the most part. Can you recall your most beautiful moment on stage, or the best feeling you ever got, and describe what that was?
My moment on stage?
Yeah.
It's the same with Christone. When I'm on stage or when I'm singing, I'm not there. I'm somewhere else. I'm in another dimension. I'm not there. I can't explain it to you. I wish I could. But it's like a gift that we have, and you just go somewhere. I mean, it's like you're literally not there. You're just not there. Especially when you sing, when you're doing it from your heart and you're giving it all you got, and you know that you are. You're not there.
You're very outside of yourself.
Yeah, that's with any musician or any vocalist. When you're doing it from your heart and you're giving it all you got, you are not there. And you sometimes can't remember what you've done. You
Tell me about something that I read about, that while you were pregnant with Christone,
Yes.
you either put a radio or headphones or something on your belly.
I did.
Why did you, tell us about that. How did you come about doing that? What made you do that?
Well, I come from one of these families that live by culture. Whatever you do while the baby's in the womb, the child would do it after he's born. I did that because, Christone would, without even hearing, well, with the headphones on the stomach, Christone would leap whenever I would sing. He would leap in my womb whenever I would go around music. It's like he could hear it. And people don't realize the fetus can hear what goes on around, outside the mother's body. So I just took it upon myself to play classical music for him and just put the headphones on the stomach and sing to him and read to him. I did all of those things. I developed a relationship with my son because my other son did not show an interest in music as much as he did, and I wanted, I kind of wanted Christone to love music. I did.
Wanted him to have that connection.
I did.
To what your deep roots had been.
Yes.
Let me ask you, Christone, if you can go back, I can ask this to a young guy, you ask it to somebody like us and we just like fall out. Your first memory of knowingly either being attracted to music or picking up an instrument and it meaning something to you, tell us about that.
Okay. In order for me to explain this, I have to say this.
Take your time.
Everybody sees me playing blues rock, but I was more church influenced, like she said, with her being in the quartet group and everything, and my uncles on their side of the family, in their quartet group, and they have strong ties with a lot of professional quartet groups in there. So we used to have like 37 VHS tapes of quartet groups, everything like from Lee Williams to the Bolton Brothers to the Canton Spirituals, and I would just sit there and I would watch the tape and what those guys was doing, I want to do. Not only that, whenever she had to go back home to a quartet program for like an anniversary or something, I would drag my guitar up there and would play with them. I wouldn't know what I was doing, and I was unplugged, but I would be up there, you got the old singer, with his rag wiping his head and everything, and so they would get a rag and wipe my head too, like I was doing something. So basically, I'm more church quartet influence. I love quartet music, quartet gospel music. So that's where all of it came from, basically. So, yeah.
And so you remember that as being your first attraction, and really what were your first influences?
Right.
Right. Okay, so you're playing, you have the headphones on the belly, and he's born. Tell us what sort of how he unfolded and developed from a musical point of view. Your first memories and responses that you and those who were close to him, what did you all see in this little prodigy to be?
Really? Well, like I said, we went around the family a lot. We were always around the family. And he first took an interest in drums. I mean, he was always tapping on something. Tap, tap, tap all the time. Then, I mean, it wasn't so much as the guitar he was interested in, it was the drums. And then we started, we put him in this program in Clarksdale where they teach kids from 3 to 83 how to play the blues. And so that's when it developed. When I saw him, he was always beating on something. We bought him instruments. Whenever
and I would tear him up.
Yeah, he would tear them, and then I would
tear him up as in being mischievous, or tear him up playing them so much.
Just
both.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. And like if I did a solo or something, he would come behind me, and I would have to say, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to be here, you know. And so he really didn't know how to play at all. He was just, I felt like he was just working it into existence, because it started at a young age. He just carried a guitar around everywhere we went.
2, 3, 4 years old?
Probably about the age of 4, the age of 4. And then, like I said, we got him into this program, and he started there when he was about 8 years old, and then he mastered the bass. He kind of
I wouldn't say mastered, but
yeah, he's a monster on the bass. And then after that, we went
Proud
to the
mama.
guitar.
Proud
Yeah,
mama.
well,
Let the proud mama be the proud
well,
mama.
I'm telling you, you know, that's exactly how it happened. You know, he is a monster on the bass, and I will always say that. Then we went to guitar, and then we found out he had this extraordinary syndrome that he has, which is called Asperger's, in which he hears music all the time. And that's like a mild form of autism, where he hears music and he can listen.
So he's actually clinically diagnosed.
Yes.
With autism, Asperger's, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Asperger's syndrome, and he can hear music, and it would be so strange because sometimes he would rehearse, and I would go and I would find him in his room, and he would be laying back, asleep, and the guitar in his hand, and I would just leave him there all night, just like that. I would not move him, you know, and because I that's when I realized it had become serious. When he started doing this every day, I had to hear this every day, and then I got to the point I had to drown it out because, you know, the musician's mother and father just have to tune it out. But I realized then that this is what he wanted to do. So
I hope my audience is finding this as interesting as I am finding it. This piece about you hearing music all the time. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, like Hendrix, I can hear the music, you know, so, you know, like, I wouldn't say if I'll be bored somewhere, like if I'm just somewhere and I'm not doing anything, I could hear guitar riffs and everything, and I wouldn't wait to, and I couldn't wait to get home and try to play them and everything. So basically, constantly, I'm hearing music right now.
Really?
Basically, so.
You know, man, one night there's a place here in D.C. called Georgetown.
Right.
And I was at a cafe. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. It's one of the few places you can have, you know, late night breakfast in D.C. And R. Kelly had a concert, and he and his crew came in. It was probably about 20 people. I happened to be sitting close to where he was, and R. Kelly would be in the middle of a conversation. When I say middle of the conversation, he would cut a sentence off and on the table do something like, just like go off like he all of a sudden wasn't there. He was totally somewhere else. Is that what you're talking about? Did you hear
Basically, you know, like I said, I'm hearing a guitar riff right now that I really want to play so bad. You know, cause I'm scared I'm going to forget it later, but hopefully not.
So the guitar riff that you're hearing right now, is that something you can verbalize at all? Can you verbalize it?
Well, talk about. Oh no. It's something that I just can't explain. I would have to play it. Right. So, I mean, that's just how it works with me. So.
So us mere mortals, we really don't understand how you geniuses.
I'm not a genius. I'm not.
Well, let me tell you something. When it comes to your music, it seems as if you are. And I visited Clarksdale a couple of weeks ago, and certainly your principals, your teachers could not have been more complimentary about, you know, sort of your commitment and them supporting your effort to further your music. And I don't think they would do that if you didn't reciprocate with some seriousness of effort in trying to get your work done. Now, I mentioned Clarksdale, and some folks may or may not know that Clarksdale is considered to be the home of the blues.
yes.
There's the blues, the Blues Hall of Fame is there.
Oh no.
No.
No. That's in Memphis.
But what is the area next to the museum, next to Ground Zero?
The Delta Blues Museum.
The
Delta Blues
the
Museum.
Delta
Yeah.
Blues Museum is there.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you will, and if both of you take a stab at this, sort of, I will ask the question this way. I grew up in a family playing baseball. And so by the time I was 6 or 7 years old, having played with 5 or 6 brothers, that's all we did. I was extraordinarily proficient. What is it about growing up in that area that is the home of the blues, almost like it's in your DNA? What do you feel growing up there how has that benefited your talent and your progress?
Oh, well, for one, it's a small town. Clarksdale is a small town, and there's not much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Either you play sports, or play music, or do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't get into the other stuff that you can do, because that's not.
That'll get you put in jail.
Yeah,
or killed.
right. So like I said, so there's not really much to do. So a lot of and it's not only me, but there's a lot of kids in my hometown that are talented with music, and I'm friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So everybody has a musical background. Either they're playing in church, or somebody's somebody is related to a celebrity that plays blues, and that's from Clarksdale. So yeah, it's the way the old people said, I think it's something in the water.
Something in the water.
Basically.
And
so,
it gets in your DNA.
basically.
Yeah.
So.
Ms. Ingram, you have been charting a course with a kid who is, in a word, super talented. Charting a course, another way of saying that is handling and managing his career. In a business, I come out of a world in a business that is thought to be cutthroat, and that is the boxing world. And the boxing world and the music business, I don't care what genre you're in, are thought to be evil monster twins.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what some of your challenges have been in representing a young man like Kingfish in those shark-infested waters of the music business.
Do we have all day? No, me being a female and trying to manage my son, being a single mom where there's actually no man with me, I'm not involved with anyone. I've had some people to insult my intelligence and tell me that I need to get business courses. I'm not aware of what I'm doing. You have no clue of what you're doing. I've had some people to literally push me down, cause injury to me. Just several things that's happened to me that I don't want to speak of. But since I've been in this business, it is a hardcore business, cutthroat business. You always have to be on your P's and Q's. You always have to look over your shoulder, and you have to pray very hard. Pray very hard. And with me, with Christone, the journey has been, these last 5 years has been very long. Due to some of the health reasons I have, health illnesses I have. And it's just, it's...
You know what? I'd like to deal with this a little bit, because in the lead up to the show, we talked about, and I was shocked to find this out, we said homelessness to the White House. So you guys each have experienced a period or periods of homelessness?
Yes. Not having a place to go, get kicked out of a apartment. After we became divorced, we got kicked out of an apartment, and we moved in with someone, and then someone kicked us out of that house, and then we moved to a hotel. We actually stayed in a hotel for about maybe a month and a half. He went to school, same way, but we stayed in this little cheap hotel, and we were homeless. And it wasn't until that my disability benefits really kicked in that we moved to the place that we reside in. We've been there 5 years now. So we've experienced the homelessness and all of that. Yes.
Christone, as a kid, okay, so you're 17 now. You said the divorce 5 years ago. So you had to be into your teenage years during that time. Can you take us back to some of those moments and tell us how, as a kid going to school with everybody, how that felt to you, how you processed it?
Well, honestly, it didn't phase me until it happened, because as a result of watching TV and looking at homeless people and people having no way, I never thought that it could happen to me or us.
Right.
And I wouldn't say it took a toll, but it kind of had me messed up for a long time. Like for a long time.
Yeah. What did you feel when you say had you messed up? Can you articulate what you were feeling? What you said messed up. How were you feeling?
And prior to what I played, blue. So it's really I can't explain it because it's too.
Let me try to help if I can.
Yeah.
When you say blue, part of what makes up blue is sad,
Depressed.
embarrassed, hurt, sort of all of those.
Right.
All of those. Mom, Lord knows it was not my moment, not my time to try to be like a Barbara Walters or anything, but you're crying, and what are you feeling now?
And because I look at the journey that we've been on and where we are now, it has wow, I just can't believe it sometimes. I cannot believe it.
At the start of my show, I always say we try to inspire people by stories of extraordinary achievement, and that you sit here now, and your son sits here now, and he's been on the Steve Harvey show, he's been at the White House,
Yes.
and now he's on the Rock Newman show.
Yes.
And he's going to be performing in the D.C. area to a wildly popular performance where he is where he's sold out. So you mentioned a couple of different times God. You mentioned praying.
Yes.
I would suspect that faith has played a very big part in your life, and I'd like for you to share that.
My faith has. That's the only thing I had. I didn't have anything else. I couldn't rely upon people because people were not loyal. So I had to learn to rely upon my faith. I had to. I had to learn that everybody was not my friend, and that I could not rely upon everyone. I had to rely upon God. My faith took us places. My faith in God has gotten us where we are now. His faith in God and the things that he's been taught and the church that we attend. It took a lot of prayer and faith. It took a lot of prayer, fasting, and faith. It did.
Christone, speaking on the subject of faith, people look at you and they think, and I think if they think this way, they are correct, that they see a budding superstar. Obviously, you've had your struggles. How have you applied your faith? What has your faith meant to you in this journey?
What you mean, like explaining the question? Like, can you?
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. What I'm saying is, your mom just talked about, like basically, her faith was her foundation that has allowed her to overcome some very, very tough circumstances. And I'm just asking, how you feel about, sort of your faith and your belief and whatever you believe in. How has that served you to help lift you up from those hard times?
Well, honestly, I didn't know a lot around that age, and but now as but now with you bringing it up, I kind of see. Um, I never thought that where I am now I will ever be, and but I wanted to get to where I am now, and I was I like there'll be moments where I'll be asking God, like, you just give me, you know, the time. I wouldn't say time to shine, but if you just help me and guide me along the way, I just want to be like a really historical figure to some people. So yeah.
It is. It's certainly a line of thinking that would say that for someone to have the talent and the skills that you have, it is a gift from a higher power. How do you respond to that?
I really think God has something to do with it, you know. And then I want to bring this up. I've come in contact with a lot of people who said they don't believe in natural talent. If you don't believe in it, okay, good for you. But I do, because I know quite a few people who's been blessed from a gift from God, and I don't want to toot my own horn because I don't want to sound cocky enough, but I want to say that I want to be one of them. Well, I am one of them, and it's all lessons, but it's all from God too.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Son, may you forever hold on to that understanding that you are blessed, that you have a certain blessing, and always give acknowledgement
right.
and understanding that it's not just of ourselves.
Right.
Let me ask you, Miss Ingram, what do you have as a vision? What do you want to come out of this experience? You've got a son that is beyond blessed, that is attracting people from all around the world. People all over the world are calling for him to come and play. What do you hope comes out of this journey?
Well, I want the gift that he has to touch as many hearts as possible, because I do, in my own self, spiritually think that Christone has a healing ministry, which with his playing. I've had people come to me, let me share this with you, come to me in the middle of a show, and they'll say, "That's a God-given talent." I said, "Yes, it is." I can't take the credit for it. No one else can take the credit because God gave it to him. I want him to touch as many lives as possible, and for them to be moved by what they hear, because when he plays guitar, he's actually speaking musically that what he doesn't say verbally. And we always taught in our church, what's from the heart reaches the heart. So I want him to play from his heart always. I want him to become successful, but I also want him to remain humble. And I want him to help as many people as possible. And always not think about the selfish part of being a musician, but also be willing to give back to the community, give back to people. That's what I want Kingfish to remember.
A few years back, I had what was almost a 6-hour conversation in the middle of the night with someone by the name of Quincy Jones. And Quincy said, music is God, and God is music.
Okay.
Experiencing music is godly. Christone, what are your dreams? Talk to me about your dreams.
Oh man, no man, this is gonna take a while.
Well, that's okay. We got 3 minutes left.
Honestly, I wanna be known with the best of the best. I wanna be when someone says, "Oh, my favorite guitar players is whatever," and I want my name to be mentioned. Not only that, it's actually artists that I really want to work with. Can I say?
Please help yourself.
3 artists that I really want to work with, and hopefully they see this. Hopefully.
I'm sure they will.
First one is Kendrick Lamar. Second one is Beyonce. Third one is Nicki Minaj, and D'Angelo.
Okay.
And Prince. And not only that, I wanna play at different award shows, and 2 especially, the Grammys and the BET Awards.
Okay.
And I have a lot more, but I don't want to go on. So basically, so that's about it.
If you have children in the future, would you try to introduce your children and encourage your children to pursue music?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you would, and why?
Well, because with me being a second generation musician, coming from my mom, I want to go on. Like, I want to make a legacy. And it'll be nice to have kids of my own who wants to take this and go and go to new dimensions and all that type of stuff with it. So yeah.
So we have now about a minute left, and I'd like to ask you, what's been the happiest experience you had playing music?
Actually, it's 2.
Okay.
The first one was when oh man, it's more than 2. The first one was when I got a chance to play at the White House in front of First Lady Michelle Obama, and the second one was when a really great friend and one of the baddest guitar players ever, Eric Gales, called me to come on stage with him.
Yeah.
Well, not that was when he called me. Well, I called him, but I got the message to call him.
Yeah.
And with him being a really great friend of mine and one of the baddest guitar players ever, it really did something to me.
Go back to the White House for a moment, because the White House is only about 5 minutes from here.
Right.
In 30 seconds, tell how you felt there at the White House.
I wouldn't say an out-of-body experience, but it was, for a long time, I forgot it happened because it was, I was in the moment at the time.
You're in a state of disbelief.
Basically.
Well, I'll tell you something. I am so flattered and honored that both of you came to share here today with us at WHUT. Thank you so much. And when I say a story is inspiring, I find yours to be extraordinarily inspiring. Thank you so very much. Folks, that wraps us for this evening. For more information on this program or any other program produced by WHUT, go to WHUT.org. Now, enjoy some more music from the fabulous Christone Kingfish Ingram, correctly being billed as the future of the blues.
This program was produced by WHUT, Howard University Television, and made possible by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.